rugby, and he tried to get me to go. I went out and saw a match, and I'm going, oh no. Now this is being a college football player at the time, taking a look at no. And yet, when you go through what we've gone through with the NFL, head trauma, all this, I mean, you know my interest has waned because I don't like the calls. It's not the game it once was.
Yep.
But this is physical.
The toughest, craziest people on the planet play rugby, man. It is spectacular.
Yes.
Professional rugby is back in the nation's capital this February. Old Glory DC season tickets are on sale now. You can visit oldglorydc.com to purchase yours. Major League Rugby, home games at Catholic University.
Yes.
It is an outstanding experience, and here to tell us some more right now is the chairman of Old Glory DC Rugby, Chris Dunlavey, and the head coach of Old Glory DC Rugby, Andrew Douglas. Guys, great to have you in studio. How you doing?
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. So, Major League Rugby, for the uninitiated, what kind of would you say to get sort of people indoctrinated into what Major League Rugby and Old Glory DC Rugby are all about?
Okay, so we're bringing the first professional rugby in the history of Washington, D.C. to the area. Rugby, as many people know, is a huge sport worldwide. So in places like the UK and the South Pacific, it's big-time sports. Here in the U.S., it's admittedly a little bit more of a niche sport, but Major League Rugby is here to professionalize that, grow the game, and bring it into the spectrum of U.S. sports.
Being physical. I mean, there are a lot of people, and I'm wondering the age demo that you're really going after, because, you know, guys like me who are aging gracefully don't know anything but full contact. But how about the younger crew, the millennials or whatever? What has been the reaction?
Yeah, it's always been pretty positive. You know, it's a game that's fast moving, so the game's forever in play, and I think people enjoy the contact, let's be honest. And in terms of it's a controlled contact, we call it controlled aggression.
Right.
And you know, there's a high percentage of people that really enjoy that controlled aggression in a refined area, and you know, you've got a set field, obviously, and set rules in terms of how that conduct and that contact can be initiated. So I mean, it's always non-stop, it's always flowing, and it's always fast. So I think that's the big attraction to all generations going through. You know, I started playing when I was 5, finished when I was 32, and I think, you know, I'm still a massive fan of rugby now. And I think, like Chris said, to the people in the UK and throughout Europe and South America and South Pacific, and now coming into America, is capturing all generations.
Major League Rugby, this will be the 3rd season of it, and you got teams all across the country. You have a team in Toronto. I would think, though, in this area, given the international flavor of the D.C. area, this is a place where rugby can really thrive.
That's exactly right. DC has a long-standing tradition of a very rich, diverse rugby community here. A lot of clubs laden with a lot of tradition and great rivalries, and yeah, that's in part because it is such an international population here. A lot of expats from rugby countries overseas live here. Every club that plays here has international guys with heavy accents playing.
Yeah.
And it's so that translates to a lot of lovers of the game in the region.
You're still thinking about the District of Champions and how things come up. Mystics have won, the Nationals have won, the Capitals, you know, a couple of years back. I think we're primed right now. We're into new and into interesting, and I think the support, and because of our international ties here, what would be better? And how many in the United States teams are slated?
There are 12 will be playing in the upcoming season. That's coast to coast, so we're going to be playing in an East Coast division against cities like New York and Boston and Atlanta. But we do have teams out to San Diego and Seattle, and we'll be picking up one of them in the championship game at the end of this year.
OldGloryDC.com is the website. You play your home games, like we said, at Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University, and one of the things that, you know, just in reading about them, it's an experience, and, you know, not just for, like, you know, brutes, but like for families. Like, you want to take your kids there, you guys have things for kind of people of all ages at these games.
Yeah, I think a couple thoughts there. The first is, you know, Doc asked about the demo, and the interesting thing is that the speed of the game, the power of the game, the contact of the game makes it very exciting for anybody to watch. But the other element of the game that's unique in American sports is there's an ethos of respect and values and honor about how you go about playing the game. that really gives it a different flavor, and we think is very attractive to families who want to bring their young kids out for a great afternoon, seeing an interesting new sport, but seeing great role models and great behaviors on the field for those kids that come up. We do have a kids' family zone with a lot of games and entertainment to keep the kids interested throughout the day, but it's really the sport itself that we think is going to be the big attraction.
Talking with Chris Dunlavey, the chairman of Old Glory DC Rugby, and the head coach Andrew Douglas of Old Glory DC Rugby. Again, the website is oldglorydc.com. So Andrew, these guys who you're coaching up, I'm so fascinated by this because I mean, it has to take like a certain mentality to play a sport like this. What can you tell us about your players and kind of the mindset that these guys possess to play this sport?
You did right. It does. You actually got to enjoy those contact areas because you know, as Doc will know, if you're not prepared to go into those dark, deep places and full committed, you know, you're not much good to anybody. Really.
Yeah.
And it's one of those sports where if you don't commit, you're not getting anything out of it as well. And you need 15 players to be able to drive it. It's not like soccer where you can have one star player and they can make a massive difference. In rugby, you can have a star player, but if the other guys around them aren't working hard, there's very little difference, to be honest with you. So it takes everyone on that field to be fully committed, but it does take a mentality. You've got to want to enjoy it and get excited by a contact situation and be able to go in deep, dark places and hit hard.
When you mention that, I think like soccer, for example, which I think a lot of people will relate to this, but Pele was the first person that I heard about it with soccer because it wasn't a sport we grew up with. And usually stars or individuals bring the masses to this. So how do you counter that with the team approach, and who is the, quote, star when it comes to rugby?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Doc, because we still have star players, you know, and around the world at the moment, you know, we have the South Africa just won the World Cup, and they brought many stars, you know, and guys like Kobe Chesney and Tendai Matawera who are coming through. These guys who have been around for a long time, and in New Zealand, guys like Kieran Reid and Dan Carter who are legends of the game. But they'll be the first to admit that they have to work with other guys around that field in order for them to be able to do their job. Because if the guy inside me fails at his job, I look like rubbish. So it's all reflective of those people around me. We still have, you know, we're lucky in DC coming to Old Glory. We've got guys who have won 2 MLR championships already. A guy called Api Nakatini, who's a Fijian international. He was MVP in the finals last year for Seattle, and he's coming to DC. He's one of our, one of our players. You know. A guy like Threaten Palamo, who's family lives in DC local. He's been in the 3 World Cups for America, and he's coming to play for us. You know, he's played throughout Europe. He was actually a college football star before rugby. So he's coming, you know, he's a big man. He's 6'3". He's fast and he's quick and he's whatever he wants to see. You know, he's a good-looking guy too. Apparently, my wife tells me. So he's the sort of guy that people want to see play. But you know, we've got a Samoan international, Danny Tusitala, coming, who's played World Cups at sevens and coming in. And we're really lucky with the roster we've been able to put together. You know, Chris and Paul Sheehy, the owners, have been gracious in allowing me to control that area and get the players that I think will be coming here with the right attitude and the right reasons to want to play for Old Glory.
What kind of training these guys go through? I mean, I got to imagine you got some guys who are putting up some pretty serious weight in the gym. I mean, you've got to be strong. You've got to be durable to do this. What kind of training goes into this sport?
Yeah, lifting is a part of it. The issue is they've got to run for 80 minutes.
Right.
So you can't just have big heavy men. You know, because they've actually got a phase can go for 3-4 minutes non-stop. So they're running sideways, back and forward, with no time to actually breathe in between. So they've actually got to keep going. So while strength is massive because those contact zones, you know, and you need durability, they have to back up every single week. At the same time, their cardio is massive as well. So we mix those two up in terms of what we do. There's a lot of game in terms of that speed and the rest factor and the speed and rest factor. They'll lift tin probably 3-4 times a week, and 3-4 times a week they're on the grass doing either specific training around coaching or cardio work.
How about season tickets? How do people get involved? How do they get a hold of it? Because sample size, that's what it's going to be. The key, get people out to try it once and then hope they get hooked.
Exactly. And we see that happening. We did a 4-game exhibition season back in the spring. We had 1,200 seats worth of season ticket holders for the whole season out there. Season tickets are open for sale right now at oldglorydc.com. We've already renewed in 1 week of opening sales. We've already renewed half those season tickets, and we expect to renew all of them. So they're going fast. You'll want to move on them. But there are packages for a variety of different price points. You know, we've got tickets for $20 a game that if you get online you can find. So it's not a price barrier for families to get in, And but there's some really nice experiences there with some upscale amenities for some of the price points as well.
Great, and you have the regular season games at Catholic. You have the preseason games at actually the St. James in
Yes.
Springfield, Virginia.
Awesome facility.
Yeah, very nice facility.
Awesome.
And the league has has television deals, so
Yes.
people can watch Major League Rugby, correct?
That is correct. And some of those deals are still in the works, but Major League Rugby nationally is broadcast on CBS Sports Network. We will be in the rotation for national games of the week through them. And there are also some deals being lined up regionally right now. So every one of our games will be on linear television, and we will have a number nationwide, probably as many as 6 appearances nationwide.
Excellent. The
Go
website.
ahead. Another question you wanted to ask. He wanted to know, are there cheerleaders?
You know, no, there aren't. At least
Okay,
not
but
yet.
see, you know, I mean,
Doc will dress
No,
up as one if you need some.
Yeah.
He's more than willing to do that, he said.
Yeah,
So,
I will say this about that, you know, particularly here in the DC region, one thing you gotta know about rugby is it's not just a men's sport. It's a women's sport, it's a children's sport.
Oh, wow.
And we will have at a number of our games, opening games, curtain raisers, where we'll have some of the best women's clubs in the country playing against each other. So the women involved with rugby they're not cheerleaders, they're players, and they're pretty
Yes,
badass.
that I'd like to see.
Awesome. OldGloryDC.com, OldGloryDC.com. Major League Rugby kicking off its 3rd season, February 2020. Washington, D.C. has a team. This is outstanding. Home games at Catholic University. Couple of preseason games coming up in January at the St. James. Thank you so much, Chris Dunlavey, the chairman of Old Glory DC Rugby, and Andrew Douglas, the head coach of Old Glory DC Rugby. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
And don't forget the beer gardens. Okay, it's
Oh, yeah.
important.
Oh, yeah.
Important
Key
to
phrase.
emphasize.
Key-
Keep
key
people
phrase.
lubricated.
No doubt about that.
You got it.
And I like the gear, too. Thank you for the
OldGloryDC.com.
jersey.
Thank you so
Call them
much.
jerseys or sweaters. What do you call them?
They're jerseys.
Jerseys, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Chris
Thank
and
you.
Andrew bringing it here. We're coming right back. JP Finley of NBC Sports Washington talks Redskins with us at 11:30. Don't go away.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah, can't wait to come on, check it out.
Yeah, that was great.